What's up, y'all? I'm back with another quick video, man. So today I wanted to jump in here and give you guys another quick little follow-up on my Mevo Start. And the only reason why I want to do that, man, is because I get questions on the Mevo Start all the time, whether that be quality, how it's holding up, do I still use it? Is it the main camera that I use? What other cameras do I use alongside it? I'm starting to get a lot of questions about it because I've been using the Mevo Start for quite some time. So I just kind of want to answer a couple of those questions real quick and just give you guys kind of like a follow-up. And if I need to do another follow-up later down the line, I'll do another one. But for right now, I just kind of want to cram in a lot in this video right now as quick as I can, just to give you guys some more information out there, because every single day there's somebody that's tapping into the Mevo Store or trying to figure out how they can record their kids' games or whatever the case, right? So I just want to try to help in that aspect. So with that, let's just jump right in. Okay, so first and foremost, I don't want to go too far in depth with the whole Mevo Start because I got videos already on the Mevo Start, so you can always go back on the channel and look. But I'm just going to kind of run you through three quick things that I have for the Mevo Start in order to get myself kind of up and running when I'm at the game and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys remember, but when I first got my Mevo Start, I was using this to connect it to the fence, which is still a really good tool. You just connect this to the fence right here. You can use your phone or put a charger in here, put your Mevo Start right here, align it in the fence, and then you're good to go right there. So you got this little piece right here. This was the first piece that I was using. And then I upgraded. I want to say it's an upgrade, but then I upgraded. Let me move that out of the way. I upgraded to the actual game-changing box. And the reason I went with the game-changer box, is because you can just connect this easily to the fence like that. It has a little shade on it, so you can kind of keep the camera a little cool and stuff like that. And on the inside right here, it has a Velcro space right here. And on the bottom of your Mevo Start, this is Velcro, so it just sticks in just like that, right? So that's the reason why, you know, I kind of upgraded and went to the actual Game Changer box. It also came with it came with a tripod and stuff like that, so it's like 99 bucks for a little bit of a kit. But I went to this right here, and I think this is the move right here. If you want to stream the games, I think you should just go ahead and get you one of these because you just can't beat it for what it can do for you. All right, so this was how I was mounting it at first, and now this is how I mount it currently and have been using for the past, I don't know how long it's been now, but I've been using it for a very long time. So and last but not least, this is the camera. So this is the Mevo Start, right? I'm gonna kind of run you through just a small little bit about this, but again, I got videos on this already, so you know, you could kind of work with me from there. But just the basics of this, I use my phone to open up Game Changer, right? In the Mevo Start app, I pick the game that I want to stream live. I go live, my camera is on, and then the camera starts to feed. You know, my internet starts to connect with the camera and all of that stuff, and then I get the live feed going through the camera, and it's on my phone, if that makes sense. So I'm using my phone for the internet. It's going to stream. You're going to see the video on my phone, but the camera is actually doing all of the heavy lifting. I'm just using the internet from the phone, right, to get the camera going and so forth. On the back right here, it does have a little memory chip slot, so once you get done streaming the games, you can record and go from there, right? You got one lens right here in the front. You can also plug in USB-C style like shotgun mics and stuff like that if you want to get some better audio, but I feel like the audio on this joint is pretty good for what it is, right? And throughout this, I'm gonna answer a question about quality and stuff like that, so you'll see that too as well, right? But anyway, that's what this camera looks like. The max it shoots up to, if I'm not mistaken, is 1080-30. So just keep that in mind. And you're always gonna be at the mercy of your phone signal, unless you're just regular recording. Now, if you're just regular recording on this and you're not streaming live from this, you can go 1080-30 all the time, and you'll be good to go, right? You got a lot of options in there to change the vividness of the picture, the brightness, contrast, EV. You can do all of that stuff in the Mevo app and stuff, so you can change those things as well. But if you're gonna record, no streaming, you can go 1080-30. If you're gonna stream, it's gonna always be at the mercy of your phone signal. So if your phone signal is good, or if you have a hot spot or something like that, then you can always bump it up to 1080-30, which I think is the max, if I'm not mistaken. But again, if you're gonna use your phone kind of like how I do, this tandem right here, you're gonna always be at the mercy of the phone signal. So sometimes my games are in 1080-30, and sometimes they're in 720p 30, if I'm not mistaken, or 720-30, I think, 720p 30 frames a second, depending on the signal. But for the majority of the time, based off where we play lately over the past, like, I guess a year and some change that I've been using this, I think it's been about a year and some change, I've been getting about 1080-30 kind of frequently based off of the signal and stuff like that. So I've been doing pretty good with that. Okay. So, again, I don't want to be too long. I'm already looking at the time. We're at 4 minutes and some change, so I don't want to be too long, all right? Just kind of want to give you guys an update. So, a couple of quick things about this update-wise, right? Before I show you guys a little bit of footage, which you might see as I'm talking here, just to kind of make this video small, shorter. This camera, the quality, it does look really nice when you can get that 1080-30. If you're just using the memory chip, like I said, 1080-30 is gonna always look good when you're recording games and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things about this camera that I would say, oh, is it a downside? I don't want to call it a downside, but I will tell you one of the things I've noticed with this camera is that, like, if you're shooting the game and like the sun is directly facing the camera, the picture kind of looks a little wonky, because I feel like you're supposed to use this camera in auto settings. I feel like if you start trying to plug in settings and try to manually control this camera, I feel like that's just not the way to go with this camera. I feel like you're just supposed to put it on auto and you're supposed to rock out, right? But if the sun is shooting directly kind of like at the camera, you know, the sun's in center field and you got in the home plates down here and you're shooting straight out that way, yeah, it's gonna kind of mess with the footage a little bit, because the camera's going to be trying to adjust because it's on auto settings and stuff like that. So that's one thing to worry about, that you got to deal with a little bit. But once the sun shifts and moves over and stuff like that, the picture, you know, still comes out pretty good. I had my first time, this last past tournament, this was the first time this camera actually overheated on me. So it's only overheated on me once in the whole time that I've had this camera, and it just happened probably about a tournament ago, if I'm not mistaken. But it did overheat for the first time, and it just shut off on me. That was the first time. Do I have a problem with overheating with this camera? No, that was the first time. And ever since even that time, the last tournament that we just did, and the last couple of games we did this past week, it didn't overheat or anything like that. And now we're getting ready to go into like the colder months, so it's not going to overheat anyway. But that was the first time it overheated. It was about 92 degrees outside, and that was the first time it overheated. So, you know, that's neither here nor there. If you're worrying about overheating, just know that in all of this time, go back and look when I first unboxed this thing. Since that time frame, I've only had one overheating incident with this camera, just one, right? And that was because the sun was directly facing on the camera, and on the Game Changer box, the shade is in the back, but the camera sits out here in the front. You see what I mean? Like, you slide it back a little bit, but the sun was shooting directly at the camera. So I felt like it was like the perfect setup for it to overheat, being that it was 90-something degrees, sun beating straight on it with no real shade. So I felt like that was the perfect setup, right? And my phone even overheated that day too. So I think the whole tandem just shut down, right? What else? Durability. Now, this camera is very durable. You can see I got some wear and tear all on it and stuff like that. This thing looks like it's beat to crap, because I ain't gonna say I take care of the camera, that I don't take care of it, but I throw it in my Game Changer box. It's on the Velcro. I throw other stuff in there, chargers, other bricks, other portable charger stuff, and I just let this camera just do its thing, man, because, hey, it's very rugged, it's very solid, and I just feel like it's getting used for what it's getting used for, and I'm not taking care of this camera. I'm not trying to be careful with the camera. I'm just letting it be, you know what I'm saying? And if it's getting dinged up and scratched up, so be it, right? But I will say, as far as durability, I think it's good on the durability. It did get rained on in the last tournament too, because we were winning the last game. Yes, we were winning the last tournament game. We came in first place too, right? And it started raining really bad, and I left the camera up there, and it started raining, and after a while I just decided to take it down, because the game was about to get ready to end anyway, because the rain was coming down too bad. It started lightning and stuff, and it was still recording, still fine. When I got it off of the fence, there was rain kind of running down the camera like this a little bit. It didn't get over the lens, but it was just kind of running down the camera. It was wet all the way up to about right here. It was wet. All of this right here in the front was wet up until about there, and it was still recording and so forth and so on, still doing its thing. It had a little bit of wetness in the back here, but for the most part, it held up. My Game Changer box got a little soaked, so I had to let that dry out, but it was still recording, still doing its thing, and I thought that was really cool. That was the first time it got caught that I used it in the rain, or it got caught in the rain, or I left it in the rain. So I had that, and I had the one overheating. So durability, I think, is a go, right? Now, let's talk about, I think it was a question I got maybe about a month and a half ago, because you guys know I've been very busy, so I've been getting to these videos kind of like whenever I can, really. To be honest with you guys, until I can finally get back on a better schedule. But I had a question about, is this the only thing that I'm using? If that's not mistaken, like, if I'm not mistaken, is this the only camera that I'm using, or am I using anything else to record with? And the answer is yes, but it's like yes and no, right? And the reason I say yes and no is because throughout this whole time that I was using this camera, I wasn't using anything alongside of it, obviously taking photos with my main camera, my 90D and stuff like that. But as far as recording, no, it was just this camera, using it on the memory chip and streaming, let the game record to the camera, and I was good to go. Until probably about 2 tournaments ago, maybe 3 tournaments ago, I started incorporating this. And I'll show you the reason why I incorporated this, because you might see it now. So I might just throw it now, so you might start to see the footage. And it's going to be the same footage, right? It's going to be the same hit from this angle, and then it's going to be the same hit from this angle, or from using this camera right here. And the reason I started incorporating my Action 4, even my GoPro, which is what I'm recording on now, the reason I started incorporating my GoPro and my Action 4 is because I realized that when I'm recording with this camera and I get the whole field view, right, which is, you've probably already seen it already, but you get that whole field view, right, I can then take this camera, because it has this little magnet little piece down here, right, and I can go put this on the, you know how the fence, you got the fence, you have the pole on the fence, I can go and sit this in one of the little, on the pole on the fence, and I can just angle it and just let it record and get whatever I just can get with that angle, you know what I'm saying, and let this be my main angle and this just be like a side angle. So if the sun is shining too bright, or this one's working better, whatever the case, I know, you know, let's say one of my kids have a really good play, then I get to pick and choose which footage I kind of want to use, right? Or if I want to splice them in and use them together, or chop them up and just kind of use them both, right? But I've been incorporating this to get these type of shots too, right? You know, the vertical shots, I've been using it for this and for the horizontal shots. But and I can walk around and I can get a different shot. So like while this camera's streaming the game and is saving the game for me on Game Changer and on my memory chip, I can then walk around with this camera and get some different angles of what I just want to have, because I know I'm going to have the main whole game right here, and I can go get like little small intricate little detailed shots if I just want to walk, because my daughter plays outfield, my son plays outfield. If I want to walk a little bit towards the outfield and just get a little bit of this right here, you know, get some outfield action. If I want to bring it back down and get some of that, you know, while they're batting, I can get a different perspective from like the side over here. And then if they hit the ball or whatever, I can start to pan my camera, you know, and if I want to pick it up real quick and pan and see where the shot went and start following around the whole play, because this thing has great stabilization and stuff like that, as well as my GoPro that I'm recording on. So I can just, you know, go from here, get in the shot, come straight above the fence like this, and I can just start kind of panning around and just kind of getting the whole play, the whole overall play, knowing I got the main shot right here, but now I'm getting, you know, this type of stuff right here, right? And now when I combine them together, even though the quality is way better on this than this, when I combine them together, it just looks, you know, it just kind of makes the story a little bit better, right? So yes, I have been using my GoPro and my Action 4 alongside my Mevo Start. So this video actually is way too long. It's 12 minutes and some change, right? Don't want to be that long. So to really kind of sum this video up, am I still going to go strong with the Mevo Start? Yes, I'm actually thinking about getting an extra Mevo Start, trying to get my own personal little hotspot and stuff, so I can start running 2 Mevo Starts and use my iPad to start, you know, switching between cameras and plays and stuff like that, things that's happening on the field. Because just having this one Mevo Start has unlocked a lot of other things that I really want to do with streaming these games, and it's becoming more interesting and more fun, right? Because I'm a tech head anyway, and now I'm streaming the games, and I'm doing it for everybody because I enjoy streaming. So I like streaming for the whole team, for all the parents, all the people that want to watch. I like doing that stuff, and I just want to spice up my streams. So I may end up incorporating another one and trying to get a personal hotspot. I may. Do I recommend you use a like action camera as a side camera to this? I think this is like a great setup, and including my GoPro. This is the Action 4, and I have a GoPro Hero 11 Black that I'm shooting on right now. These 3, depending on which one I want to take to the field, but this combo right here, this is it. This is it right here. And another thing about this camera too is like that makes it good is like, obviously you got that magnet piece, you got this clip, and it just clips on like this. You see what I mean? So if you just want to be at the game, letting this stream and get your main shot, and then you want to go around the game and get you some of this action, right, man, you can't beat this kind of setup. And that's as with the GoPro too. But you just can't beat this kind of setup right here. And then if you take your big camera, kind of like how I do take my 90D, now I'm getting some good photos. Boom, boom, boom. My game is streaming live and it's recording. So I'm going to have the main shot. I'm going to have the photos that I want to take. And I'm going to have some intricate detail shots at 10-bit. Because the GoPro in this shoot 10-bit, 4K 60, 4K 60. But then you got the game at 1080, 30. You see what I mean? So it's just a good tandem. It's just a good setup, man, to have this little action camera or the GoPro alongside your Mevo Start, alongside your camera. I feel like that's everything that I take, and I'll do another video kind of showing you guys everything that I take top down shot wise, and we'll go through that stuff as well, man. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. 14 minutes and some change. That's way too long for me right now, but hopefully I kind of explained a few things, drop some comments, some questions, or whatever the case, and I'll try my best to answer them. Hopefully those video clips that you saw throughout this video with the Mevo Start and the Action 4, hopefully that made sense as far as shooting at 1080, 30. I think that was at 1080, 30 on the Mevo Start, and shooting at 10-bit, 4K 60. I think I was at 4K 60. So hopefully that stuff makes sense to you guys. Hopefully everything I said made sense. Hopefully the setup, just the whole nine. I just hope it made sense. All right. So anyway, it's been your boy Jay. I got to get up out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did find it helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace.